it looks as though the gods were in my favor this weekend. What? This was a actually for no huge like fight event to be on this weekend, for like a title fight or just big names in boxing, and then for no huge card in the UFC, just kind of a straight up fight night that ended up having to switch out its main event that was originally supposed to be Rafael dos Anjos for the Johnny Walker and Jamahal Hill fight to happen, and then the Kell Brook fight versus Amir Khan to be as explosive as both of these fights were. This was a great weekend for just undercard fights, or I won't call them undercard fights, but for low profile fights. That's a better way of putting it. For low profile fights, this was actually a fantastic weekend. I got both fights, main event fights. I didn't call any other fights on them. I didn't call any undercard fights for the UFC, and I didn't call anything for undercards in boxing. But I guess both of these fights, I chose Jamahal Hill to win. I gave him all 5 rounds. I think he could have done it, knocked him out within the 5 rounds. That's what I said in my previous video. And then I said Amir Khan was gonna get I said he was gonna get KO'd within the within 6 rounds, but he ended up getting a TKO within 6 rounds though, which was I was screaming at my TV like right when that first knockdown in the first round. I was screaming. I was like, oh my god. Holy shit, he's gonna get it. And then Amir Khan stood out for 4 more rounds, or kept going for 4 more rounds. It's like, oh my god, he's so close to getting this within 6. Getting him within a minute in the 6th round, it was a beautiful sight to see. I'm glad Kell Brook took that. I did. That was a fantastic fight. Kudos to Amir Khan. And then to see Jamahal Hill with the one-hit KO, well, not one-hit KO, but the knock, that beautiful, whatever happened to Johnny Walker's body, it was an immediate stiff board, and just it was wild to just see him fall like that. And then Jamahal Hill followed up with just one more hit before the ref got it, and that was beautiful as well to see. This was a great weekend. All right, let's talk about the aftermath. All right, let's start with Amir Khan. This will be a short video. I don't want it to be too long. Amir Khan versus Kell Brook. Kell Brook controlled the entire fight. There was really, honestly, no point. Amir Khan was having some good shots thrown in, but from the bell, Kell Brook had more output, more power punches, landing more power punches, throwing more punches, and landing. He had a higher percentage rate throughout each round, and then he got the knockdown in the first round, which Amir Khan was already behind at that point. And I never gave really. I could have seen an argument for round 2 for Amir Khan, but I ended up giving it to Kell Brook anyways because he still had the higher output and landed the higher power punches. I think Amir Khan just finished very strongly in that round. But besides that, there was no point in this fight where Amir Khan was at dominant at all. He was not dominant. And it was a beautiful sight to see. Kell Brook still got it. I think he got called out by somebody. Where's my phone? Who called out Kell Brook after the fight? I think who called him out? Oh yeah, Chris Eubanks Jr. called out Kell Brook to be like, let's fight, bro. Let's do this. So I actually approve of that fight. I think that's a good fight for Kell Brook. Another good step in the right direction for maybe kind of fighting the top guys again. But yeah, I was real confident in Kell Brook taking that one. Again, Amir Khan's been gone for the ring for so long, and his chin has been checked so many times. He's been in the sport since he was like 17 years old. And he was talking about this in an interview. It might be time for him to go. It might be time that he's, finished with the sport. There's no real need to continue forward. He's done everything he needed to. He's been to the Olympics. He's been a multiple weight class champion. He's done it all, and he has the money. He doesn't need to do this anymore. He can search for other ventures. He has plenty of time, plenty of money, plenty of connections. I think it's an ego thing at this point. I think it was a matter of maybe another big payday with Kell Brook, because that was an important fight for Europe, especially for the UK, because these are both UK fighters. But yeah, I'm great ups for Kell Brook. 6-round knockout. It was beautiful, or TKO, I guess. And he looked great. He looked fantastic. He definitely looked like he was confident in there. So I'm glad about that. All right, let's talk about the UFC main event, Johnny Walker versus Jamahal Hill. Oh, man. First off, only one rounded fight. Did not expect it. It was a good fight. I think it would have been a great 5-round fight had it gone all the way, because these guys were hitting each other. They weren't swinging. It wasn't really wild. It was just like they were picking their shots and throwing power immediately. Once they landed the shot, it was power. Kick, power. Anything, power. It was just power, and kind of like there was no... there was always bad intentions behind every strike. And I love that. You can see Jamahal Hill's, I don't know, remember what forearm it was, but on his forearm is just a huge lump from the long, lengthy kicks from the legs of Johnny Walker, because he's a tall, long, lanky guy. And then Jamahal was just able to land this overhand, I want to say it was the overhand right. I could be wrong, but this beautiful overhand right on the temple of Johnny Walker, and it made him into fucking plankton from Ed, and Eddie. He just stiffened up like a board and just landed, not even trying to catch himself, like he was just put to sleep. Jamahal Hill, that was a great, again, he hasn't let the loss to Paul Craig deter him. Like he's been pushing forward. And he's definitely been showing that he's a danger in this sport. He really is. I think after a fight like that, he should definitely get at least a top 10 guy. Maybe I think Johnny technically is a top 10 guy, because I think he's ranked 10 if I'm not mistaken. But he should definitely get within that top 10 rank. He should get somebody up there. He should. He really should. Thiago Santos is probably a good opportunity. Who else is in the? Who might be a good opportunity for Jamahal Hill is Dominic Reyes. That might be. Dominic Reyes is coming off of a 2-fight losing streak right now. So maybe not, because Jamal's on a winning streak right now. So that might not be the best of choices for Reyes. But again, I think he deserves somebody in that top 10 right now, within it, not like somebody to push him into that top 5. I think that's really the opportunity now for Jamahal Hill, because that was a beautiful knockout, and he can definitely lead a card. He can most definitely be a main event again, because that was phenomenal. Great night of fights. It was fantastic. I had a blast. I cannot wait to continue to see what we have. I know, next weekend, which we'll have a before the war about. I have to write that script actually out. But Neil Dariush is out of the UFC event against Islam Makhachev. So we'll do a before the war for Bobby Green versus Islam Makhachev. I don't think Bobby stands a chance, but we'll talk about it. We'll go into that whole thing and whole situation. But yes, Bobby Green versus Islam Makhachev this weekend, and in 2 weeks it will be a UFC 272, Kobe Covington versus Jorge Masvidal. So we'll get into that as well. But yeah, all right guys, thank you for coming to this aftermath, and we will see you guys on the next one. Adios.